Yeah, we've heard of people planting after the rainy season in the dry riverbed to get that last bit of moisture. Yeah.
Wow.
My name is Kristen Ballou. I'm a research molecular biologist with the USDA ARS in the Plant Genetics Research Unit in Columbia, Missouri. I work on the University of Missouri campus, also at the University of Missouri Research Farms, and I do soybean research to make soybean better for farmers and ultimately consumers. It takes a long time to create a new soybean variety, and my work is actually often termed pre-breeding. So there's a soybean breeder step, and I am the step before that, pre-breeding or the molecular characterization. And I've worked with the breeders to try to figure out ways to become more efficient, to take the discoveries in the lab and turn them into new varieties more quickly or at least more efficiently so we have a higher success rate. Soybean breeding tends to be a game of logistics and lots of time, and you have put things through the system in order to get winning varieties, and we want to ensure that the new characteristics that I've worked on can be a part of that, and it's really been a challenge to do that efficiently, and I would say I've spent the last maybe 6 or 7 years of my research trying to get that process to be more efficient, and I would say we found some ways to do that, and that will set the stage for a kind of a whole new avenue of soybean varieties that have this enhanced value to become competitive varieties in the marketplace, so the farmers will not just get high yields from the background of the varieties, but also potentially a price premium for growing them because they have these characteristics that make them more valuable through the chain and ultimately for consumers. And so I'm really happy that my research has gone from the beginning, basic laboratory things, into this like pre-breeding field stage, and then on into the breeders' hands, and now they're becoming commercial varieties. And that's really fantastic as a researcher to have a part of that. Once you get into latitudes closer to the equator, the photoperiod response of soybean really prevents it from performing well. And so we've also done research to try to understand that, so that our farmers in Africa have a better chance, if they have the right ecological conditions, enough rain, that this day length requirement won't be so bad and produce low yields for them. And we've made some progress there too.
Yeah, that'd be a bonanza as far as for the human condition.
That's right.
You could do that.
Really productive soybeans. There's other programs there for common beans, and they don't quite suffer the same kind of day length issues from latitude that soybean does, and so it'll take more research to really get that under control for the most productive soybeans.
I think cowpeas are almost a universal now because of the diversity that they can do. Or
That's right. They're a pretty short season crop. Also, we look at the length of the season. So if you gave me 9 months to grow soybeans in Missouri with no frost, I could really produce a big yield. Well, the same is sort of true in Africa, where they have essentially frost-free growing periods, but their rainfall limits growth. So they tend to have a rainy season and a dry season. And one of the things that farmers think about probably everywhere is risk. And so cowpea, for example, has a very short season. I think you can get seeds in 70 or 80 days from cowpea. And most soybean varieties in the U.S., we try to maximize our frost-free season. We might have 130, 140, 150 day season. That would be much too long in Africa, mostly due to water issues. And so we also are trying to match the season with the rainfall and the temperatures and the day length. So it's a complicated process also.
That's what makes it fun, though.
That's true. It's
and rewarding.
It's a good area for research. Yeah.
That's fantastic. A graduate student here, he's from Niger. And it's a little skinny area around the river is where they grow all their food. And they're very heavy in millets. That's what they grow a lot of. I said, what's your protein source? And he said, not from grains or plants, it's all from meat, which is a very inefficient
That's right.
means.
It's hard to meet your protein needs like that, but I'm sure that it sounds like they have rainfall issues as well.
Right.
Yeah. We've heard of people planting after the rainy season in the dry riverbed to get that last bit of moisture. Yeah.
Wow. If you had a 60 or 70 day soybean, you could do that.
That's right. Well, I mean, you'd want 60 or 70 with the highest yield you could get, right?
Exactly. I can make 5 seeds.
That's right.
All right. Well, thanks so much.